Arcane Season 2 begins, and we see Jace helping Mel recover from the explosion. Everything is distorted, and 3 counselors are dead from Jinx's chaotic show. Others are injured from the explosion. Jace goes to help Victor. He carries his body and gets to work. He uses the Hextech orb to try and extract the energy from Victor. But this causes an explosion. At Cassandra's funeral, Caitlyn's mother. We see Caitlyn lost in her memories of sadness and guilt. Her mother is then taken away. She is lost in thoughts, and May comes to meet her, to console her. Salo is wheeled in. He says they need to scour everywhere. A woman says they need to show their people that they have the situation under control. Salo suggests that they use force and invade, because they are under siege. Caitlyn confirms the explosion was caused by Jinx, and they can't risk the underground unifying against them. They agree to bring Jinx to justice, and they will invade the undergrounds. Mel says she will endorse the invasion, but they won't be use of Hextech. Later, Caitlyn is opening some letter when her father comes in. He gives her a device from her mother, and he says it's her legacy. He is angry to see Six, and Caitlyn goes to meet her. Vi helps comfort Caitlyn. She says her sister, Powder, is gone, and she can fix things with the gauntlets. Caitlyn says the enforcers are going after Jinx, and she says Vi can join them. She gives Vi a badge, but Vi refuses it and leaves. Vi is sitting in the rain when a man comes to sit next to her. Mel comes to meet Jace and asks how Victor is doing. Jace says that he is breathing, but that's all. She tries to touch him, but she can't. Jace says the Hexcore is evolving its patterns, but he knows it's keeping Victor alive. Jace doesn't understand how the explosion didn't affect him, but it damaged Victor a lot. Mel tells him about her mother is trying to get Salo to use the Hextech, but she handled it so Jace won't break his promise to Victor. Later, Caitlyn is by herself. In her memories, she is about to shoot Jinx. Jace calls her back to reality, and he talks to her. He apologizes for not being around, and she asks of Victor. She says she keeps seeing 3 faces, her dead mother and Jinx's evil laughter. She says she also sees Vi, and she tells Jace how Vi declined the badge. Vi is woken up from her sleep by an officer named Maddie. Vi asks if they are here to search or escort her off the property. But Maddie tells her otherwise. She says Caitlyn spoke well of her at the station. She is excited and asks if she really did take on Silco by herself. Maddie says that after the sheriff betrayed them, it's good to know there are nice ones left. The people gathers and Mel gives a speech to them. She is addressing the people and how they are connected. Vi notices a man with a neck tattoo. Mel addresses the dead counselors and says they won't be forgotten. Vi follows the man, but is stopped by the guards. The man walks up to Mel with a gun and hits her. Meanwhile, a lady reveals herself and attacks Jace. The guards try and fight back, but they are futile. A ship in the sky opens up, and some men drop down into the building. They attack and overpower the guards. Jace tries to fight the woman back, and he manages to remove her plug. Caitlyn fights back the other men, and Vi escapes. Caitlyn is about to be killed, but Vi saves her. They team up and destroy the man's armor. Vi tells Caitlyn to get the counselors away, and she leaves. The lady is searching for Jace, and he hits her unaware. She isn't fazed, and she injured him. Vi runs through the hallway and grabs a key. Jace is trying to escape, but she catches up to him. Luckily for him, she blasted away by Vi with a hammer. The other men are about to kill the guards, but Caitlyn helps hold them off. Vi sees her friends are surrounded by the men. She tries her best to start the hammer again. Jace helps her and blast the men. Out of nowhere, some spears hit the men, which causes their blast to miss. The spears stabs all the attackers, and they fall to the ground. We are then shown the helpers. Caitlyn is getting help when Vi comes to meet her. Caitlyn is pissed off that they attacked during a memorial. Vi tells her that the attack was on their side, and it has a big impact. She tells Caitlyn to reconsider the invasion. Caitlyn is upset about the burden to bear, but Vi reassured her. Caitlyn tells Vi that if she goes after Vi's sister, then one of them would return in a box. Later, Caitlyn is watching a video from her mother. She then starts going through some files, trying to understand the builds and Hextech. The councils are having a meeting and discussing how they were invaded. They come to a conclusion that they have a spy. Caitlyn walks in and says they aren't prepared for an invasion. She says she will lead a strike team to locate Jinx. dismantle Shimmer, and neutralize any Silco agent. Vi walks in and shows she has joined them. Meanwhile, we see Man walking in the snow. He sees some wolf and he releases a gas. In the next episode, Jinx is having a sinking feeling. She embraces Silco and says she broke everything. She remembers how Silco and Vi used to boss her around, but now everything is quiet for her. She lets Silco go and feels him sinking away. She crashes out in anger. Silco walks in, but it is a montage explaining Jinx's feeling. She feels alone as the city burns down. A girl who has been trying to escape some men falls down on Jinx. The men slide down and prepare to end her. They don't realize it is Jinx, and she quickly ends them all. The girl sees the wanted poster of Jinx, and Jinx stands up to leave. The girl takes the hat and follows Jinx. Silco men are in a gathering, and they try to agree to stop their turf wars. They agree to stop the war, and they suggest to hand over Jinx. Magpie storms into the room, and she tries to fix her cyber arm. She sees Jinx and asks if she's here to finish her off. They're talking about Silco, and Magpie is angry he had to die. They don't have a plan to continue, and Jinx takes her leave. But she is followed. Victor hears people calling his name, and he wakes up. He struggles out of the Hexcore and makes his way to Jace. He wakes Jace up, and Jace hugs him. Victor asks him what happened to him. Jace explains how the Hexcore saved him, how it kept adapting to his injury and sustained him. Victor is angry that Jace used the Hexcore after it swallowed their friend, Sky, alive. Jace says he is resigning from the council, and that he and Victor can make things right. Victor refuses and takes his leave. He tells Jace goodbye. In the town, more refugees are being brought in. Echo sees a leaf fall down, and he takes it Heimerdinger. Heimerdinger examines it and finds out the tree is dying. He says he has seen something similar. Heimerdinger and Echo sneak through a building, and they go into a room. They sneak in and Jace is about to blast them. He asks them why they're breaking into his lab. Heimerdinger introduces Jace to Echo. Jace says the patterns matches the corruption they saw earlier. He is confused as why the corruption is the same down there as it is up here. Heimerdinger notices that Victor has gone. The scene changes to Victor, and we see him in the undergrounds. He hears Sky voices and follows a path. We then see Jinx working on some kind of device. The room is clouded by gases, and Caitlyn's squad walks in. Jinx is hiding, and she sees Vi and the rest searching the place. She is about to shoot Vi, but her tears give her location away. She takes her device and tries to escape. She makes her way through the building and sights a plug. She turns on the place and distracts Caitlyn and the rest. Caitlyn fires a shot in anger, and Vi calms her down. Meanwhile, Jinx escapes and she cries out in frustration. She's then attacked by a man, and another one tosses her. The rat comes out, and he says he wants to strike a deal. He says the upper city wants her alive. He threatens to remove her eyes. He makes fun of her crying, and she tells him that she killed Silico. They are taken aback and are shot. Sevica shoots some of the henchmen, but the rat survives. Jinx uses the opportunity to throw the device to Sevica, unveiling her arm. Jinx fights with another man, and a bomb is tossed at him. She kills him and sees the girl from earlier. Sevica and the rat are fighting. She spins the gauntlets and her attacks changes. They keep fighting and she overpowers him. He tells Sevica they can make a deal, but she refuses. She uses gauntlets and blasts him. She spins it again and brutally kills him. Jinx tells her Sevica could have just left her. Sevica asks Jinx what she's planning, and she says she wants to finish her family. In the alley, Victor is making his way, but is surrounded by some men. They say it's not personal, and they try to rob him. He senses the fear and pain in him and goes towards him. The man is trembling in fear, but Victor stretches his hands towards him. Victor transfers energy from the Hexcore into the man. The transfer causes an explosion, and Victor falls to his knees. The sees his body has returned to before. Victor tells them they don't need to suffer anymore. He looks up and sees Sky. They then kneel before him. Meanwhile, a man is checking the effects of a gas. It's the man from before, and we see him experimenting with the wolf organs. The episode then comes to an end.